name is Donald Holmes, and I'm good buddies with the owner of OldWorldAquafarm.com. You want some pork fish water? Sure. Yummy, huh? All right, well, why don't we all sit down and we'll get started. In the late 70s, early 80s, and throughout the 80s, I worked with Texas A&M on doing some soft shell crab projects. We also did some stuff with oysters, and we worked on using the roe of mullet to make caviar with, to make a cheaper grade of caviar. So, and all of those were stories in themselves, I promise you. But that's pretty much me. Right now I'm retired. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm 100% disabled veteran. I seem to have gotten in the way of some Agent Orange when I was in South Vietnam. And so, no big deal, one of life's little disappointments, and it keeps me and my doctors, gives my doctors something to do.
Practicing.
Right. It keeps them practicing. So, and each of you guys are all from all kinds of different walks of life. I have no idea what you're from or what you do. But evidently you have some interest in aquaponics. Aquaponics is, and we've already introduced ourselves and met each other, and thank you for that. And I promise you I will not remember your names. I will try my best, but I'll remember your faces if that helps. I'll say, I've seen you somewhere.
At your house.
Yeah. So what is aquaponics? Aquaponics is a combination of aquaculture and hydroponics. What is aquaculture? Aquaculture is, back in the early 60s, late 60s, early 70s, the United States got into raising fish outside of their natural environment. They would dig a tank on land, run a pipe out into the ocean, suck in some water, and then spit the water back out there and circulate that water and raise fish. The problem was the waste. They had so much waste product from the fish, the fish were putting out, that they were contaminating the land around them. So they had to do something to clean that up. So along came hydroponics. Well, hydroponics is, let's take some plants and we're going to grow them in water. We're not going to use any soil at all. We're just going to grow them in water. And what we want them to do is to basically produce their fruits and everything else without having any waste products. Well, we found out we had to use tons of fertilizer. So some guy came along and he said, well, actually a guy out of Australia came along, and I can't remember his name, but he took those two ideas and he put them together. And he said, let's use the fish waste and the plants to clean the water for the fish, and the fish to provide fertilizer for the plants. And they call that the nitrogen cycle. Now there are several different types of nitrogen cycle. There's the one we're most concerned with is the marine nitrogen cycle. And so when we look at that, what we want to do is, when a fish puts out waste, he puts out urea, ammonia, and those turn into nitrites. Nitrites are harmful. So there's a bacteria out there called Nitrosomonas, or Nitrobacter, the family of Nitrobacter. And I believe there's 12 different species. And so what occurs is this bacteria, by enzyme action, actually utilizes the nitrites and converts them to nitrates. Nitrates are harmless. But nitrates are what? Fertilizer. So the plants uptake the nitrates and put oxygen in the water for the fish. So it just becomes a big cycle. So we always use the same water all the time, forever. As long as we have new fish, or what we call new nitrogen. New nitrogen is produced, Duchess. Come on now, get down. Duchess.
This way.
Duchess.
I started it.
Out, 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 out. Out here. Hit the road. So, now I'm lost. What was I?
Nitrates.
Nitrates. Okay, yeah. And so, the
Plants are fertilizing the clearing the water.
right, exactly. Oh, new nitrogen is what I'm talking about. Okay, now, water in the ocean moves. On the land, there's waves. The water curls over, and it causes an upwelling. Okay, so water comes up from the deepest parts of the ocean to the surface and then back down. So any plants or animals that die or decay create nitrites that sink down to the bottom. Well, there's a zone called the euphoric zone. And what that is it's real happy. You know, euphoria means happiness. So what that means is for the first 50 to 80 meters of water is the euphoric zone. That's where fish live. Most of your fish. 90% of your fish live in 10% of the water. Okay? And that's on any lake that you ever go fishing on. A lot of people go fishing, they throw that line out there, nothing. Move over 50 feet and catch 50 fish. 90% of the fish live in 10% of the water. So, this upwelling that I'm talking about takes those nitrites off the bottom, brings them up to the surface, where plankton, phytoplankton, etc., as well as bacteria, Nitrosomonas, nitrobacter, react with it and create nitrates. And those nitrates feed the phytoplankton, the plants that float in the water. And those plants are fed, the fish eat the plants, and it just keeps going. The cycle keeps going. Okay? So you have to have current, upwelling. You have to have a euphotic zone. Because if you don't, you're not doing what nature does. And if you don't do what nature does, then you have to do something else back towards the end. Either your fish die, their gills will flare out like this. That's nitrite poisoning. Okay? That means that the plants have not activated yet. They had not cleaned the water well enough and the fish died from it. So, that's why they always say on these ads, on the internet, they always say, oh, it takes 6 weeks to cycle in. Well, what we do with our filters is, we can't send them out of state, but the ones in state, the people or local people, we put them in one of our tanks and just leave them in there for 4 or 5 weeks before we ship them out. And if you're in Houston or something, we can do that. We can't do it in Louisiana or Oklahoma or New York or Washington because we're transporting microbes from one state to another. We can't do that. Texas is all about what fish grow in Texas is what fish you can grow in Texas. If you grow out any fish other than the Mozambique tilapia or any natural fish that grows in Texas, you must have an exotic species permit. And to get an exotic species permit, you have to have 3 other permits. And to get those permits, you have to spend about $200. And then you get your exotic species permit, and then they come regulate you. And they come to, where'd you get them fish? Where is your order to show you bought these fish, and what was the origin of these fish? Who were the fish's parents? Come on. I don't know if you get all that. You know, but that's the information they want, and you're liable. Somebody gets sick, guess who's going to get in trouble? You. So don't sell your fish unless you have a permit, because they will come they will sue you and take everything you own and call you bad names and everything. And put your
If
name
you
in the
sell them, if you're going to sell them,
if you're going to sell them.
Because then you're a business.
That's right. You must have a permit. So, we talked about euphotic zones, and we talked about, now where am I going with that particular part of it? That's interesting. Because we have the surface of the water, we have this euphotic zone, E-U-P-H-O-T-I-C zone. Okay, we have this zone. Okay, below that we have where fish don't normally live, but they will go to get away. Sharks will dive down to the bottom. Whales will go down to the bottom and feed. Because they feed on bottom-dwelling animals. The squid, the octopus, the crabs, etc., etc. And so they'll go down there. If you catch a fish, they'll dive immediately because they want to get outside. They want to take you, who's got a hold of them. They don't know it's a hook and a line and a guy up there that's been watching Bill Dance fish for 20 years. They don't know that. All they know is something's in their mouth and it's pulling them. And what they want to do is get to a place where it's toxic for you and them, and hopefully they outrun you and you don't make it. That fishing pole don't matter. So, you have to have an upwelling. Okay? Water has to come up, and water has to go down, and that's how the nitrites go up, consumed by phytoplankton and bacteria, turns into nitrates, etc. Whenever anything dies, it goes down here as nitrites. So it's out of this zone. This zone is where the fish want to live. So the first thing people do when they get one of these systems, my ladder holds up. First thing people do when they get one of these systems, they have this animal tank, this aquatic animal tank, and then they have a food tank. Okay? And the first thing they do is they put the pump down here on the bottom. What happens?
It plugs up.
That's right. It plugs up because all of that, everything that died, that trash, that garbage, that waste, the particulate matters, everything else sinks to the bottom. And so here's your pump down here drawing off the bottom, and it clogs your pump up. So what happens then? Well, you can't aerate your fish. You don't aerate your fish, what happens? They die. They can't breathe, they die. So you lose all your fish. Their gills flare out, and you go, oh my God, what did I do wrong? And you go buy some more fish, and you do it again.
I have a better solution. He goes in.
Yeah, it cleans the pump. Okay. So, if you take that same pump, and you turned it sideways, okay, where it drew in like this, in the euphotic zone, where is it ever going to get any particulate matter? It's not, because it's all going to sink down here. So you don't clean your pump no more. Just because you turned it sideways and you put it in that zone. That top 1/3 of your water. That simple. But they don't tell you that on the internet. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have to go in periodically and clean the sludge off the bottom then?
No.
No. Okay.
Because what happens? What does your pump do? Your pump is spraying water, right? Spraying water in there, into this tank, just like these tanks right here. Spraying water into it, causing an upwelling. Bacteria are in the water, in the soil, and it's exchanging and coming back down. And so it's always cleaning itself. It's self-cleaning. So now you have a self-cleaning system. But oh my God, a monkey could have figured that out. Well, here's your monkey. It's me. Okay? And I patented that. How, I don't know, but they gave me the patent. So now you got to buy my filter. You want to do that, but you don't have to. Because how am I going to run you down? I ain't. You know, I'm just worried about some other company going in there and building them and trying to make a fortune off of it, and creating havoc for people that don't need that. So now that we got all that straight,
I have a question.
okay.
So, ours is not in a greenhouse, obviously, so we
Right.
have a lot of leaves blowing in it,
Mhm.
heavy duty.
Mhm.
Is that harmful on the bottom to have that layer of leaves laying down there?
I want to answer your question with a question.
Okay.
If leaves and foodstuffs and anything organic falls on the ground, it breaks down, decomposes, turns into nitrates.
Well, so we're scooping them out. That's the best thing to do, is try to get them out of there.
Leave them there. What are they harming?
I don't know. I mean, I worry about it. It's a lot.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, your fish are swimming over them. I don't see any of them coughing to you.
No, they're healthy.
Okay.
But they're nitrates at that point, not nitrates.
They're nitrates.
Right.
Yes, nitrates.
They are nitrates.
That's right. As it decomposes, it's nitrite.
Okay.
And once it's taken up by bacteria,
Then
then it turns to
changes.
nitrates. Nitrates are good up to a certain point, just like anything else. You know, bleach when you clean your floor smells good. But you put 55-gallon drum of bleach in there, you're going to burn your nose. So just, you know, everything works on levels. Everything is natural. Okay? We don't want to change nature. What is it? Newton's third law. For every, and this is not a verbatim, okay, it's just my interpretation. For every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Right, Newton's third law. Well, you need to add Donald's law, first law, to that, which is any simple concept can be manipulated to suit the proprietor. The person that's selling the product can tell you anything you want to hear. And so you get on the internet, and all these guys have been on the internet, and they read about Joe's aquaponics system, and how Joe did this, and then they change it a little bit, and now it's their aquaponics system, and they're selling new parts to it. But they've never grown anything. They've never raised anything. And all they're building is toys. If you look at every one of their systems, they come out little aquariums or a little plant on top of an aquarium. Well, how many people are you going to feed with that? You're going to feed a bunch of snails and some aphids. Aphids love plants. And that's another thing I want to talk to you about how to kill bugs that get on your plants without using pesticides. And it's the simplest thing in the world. Dawn dishwashing liquid and a little bit of water.
Okay, yeah, I'd use that.
And that'll kill them. Get them right off the plant. But so as we move along, we lose track of where we were, and okay.
Well, you were talking about snails.
Snails. Okay, good.
And aphids.
And aphids.
And dishwashing soap and water.
So I'm off on a tangent. Okay, good. All right.
But the little bitty things that people are
they're making
trying
toys.
to sell
They're
it.
building toys. They're not building systems that feed people. That Pro 200 system over there, that's what I named it, feeds 4 to 6 people for a year. Now, that don't make your salt, but I can grow your pepper. I can grow wheat in there if I wanted to. I wouldn't. I'd grow wheat on the ground. Well, I can grow rice in there and make rice flour with a simple grinder. I can't make butter, but I can get me a goat or a cow or something to milk and make it. But I can get your vegetables, your root vegetables, which nobody else can do. The aquaponic systems cannot grow root vegetables because the tuber or the root will not grow in water. It will only grow in soil or some form of media, but it will not grow in water. The roots will go straight down to water every time. But just the tuber that comes off a potato to make the potato, if it goes in water, it rots before it ever makes the potato. And that's the same thing with onions, and the same thing with beets and turnips,
Correct.
and all of them. So you've got to have a dry area. And these plants aren't I mean, it's not rocket science. These plants know when the soil's dry. They know that if you plant them too deep, they're going to grow up and get a real strong root system and go down and get into that water, and they're going to grow slowly and build a strong root system. And then as soon as they get to a dry enough area that stays dry all the time, pop, they're going to pop out. But they may take longer to grow because you planted them so deeply, which you normally wouldn't do in the ground. But some people have a tendency to go all the way to the bottom of these tanks. You don't have to. But there is one thing you must know. When you put in new plants in these tanks, water them for the first week. Those roots are only this long. They can't reach the water yet. Yes, the water wicks up. But those roots need to get as much water as they want, as much as they need. So give them some extra water.
Is there a rule of thumb about how deep you should plant?
No, sir. You know, I hear all kinds of different gardeners, and I've got a buddy down the street. He's 80-something years old, and that man can grow anything. Makes me look like an idiot. And I don't know how he does it. But he'll sit there all day and shell peas just to pick the ones he wants to grow. He'll do that all day and pick 50 seeds. And then he'll go out and plant those 50 seeds and nurse them things up. I swear that man must be out there all night and all day and everything else, hoeing around. You don't never see no weeds in his garden. That's why I started this, because I hate weeding. I don't have to weed no more. And
So is there anything you can't plant together?
You know, that's a
other
question,
than what you just...
That's a question I cannot answer yet. And I'll be honest with you. And the reason is because what I do is I grow as many different varieties as I can in every system that we have. And I want to put 10 more of those double tanks down there in this system right here. And then I want to grow 500 different kinds of plants in them, because I want to see what grows best and what doesn't grow best.
So you don't have to plant them the length between plants or the...
No. You can plant your plants any distance apart you want to, but leave enough room for the root ball. A typical onion. What size onion do you want? Something that's about 10 centimeters across or 8 centimeters across?
You leave that much
Okay.
room.
Well, then leave that much room for the next potato to get to it.
Okay.
Okay? Same thing with your tomatoes. Your tomatoes grow on a vine, but you got a root ball down there that's that big. So you plant your tomatoes 4 to 6 inches apart. Not 2 feet and 3 foot rows, because you don't have to anymore. Because the roots are not competing for nutrients. Okay? In the soil out here, they're competing for rain, they're competing for nutrients. If you take some earthworms, some old red wiggler earthworms, and throw them in these tanks right here, those castings will do more for aeration in that soil, and the castings will also provide another means of fertilization for the plants. So it's just another means to make them grow. And you can't get too hot a fertilizer. You can use chicken manure on these plants because it's water soluble. Okay, and your water wicks up through, and so it doesn't sit on there and burn your plant. It wicks into the water, it breaks apart, and it spreads out through the water, and it softens it up. It can't stay hot enough long enough.
I have when you said water, how do you, when your water is saying it's too hard, how do you adjust it?
Soften it.
Soften it, yeah.
How do you soften water?
Yeah.
Salt.
Salt?
You can go up to 2 pounds per 100 gallons of water, but no more than that.
Just table salt?
Well, I use water softener salt
Oh, okay.
because it's a lot cheaper than table salt.
Right,
A 50-pound bag's about $8,
right.
and then it comes in these little chunks,
Uh-huh.
and I take those and I beat dickens out of them with a hammer, bust them up, and then I'll introduce it very slowly.
To
I'll
the
put it around
water
the
itself.
edges. If I had a koi pond, I would introduce it all the way around the edges and let it soak into the system and
And what's
soften
your
it.
ratio for
The
salt?
ratio, the maximum ratio for salt is 2 pounds per 100 gallons. That's 2 parts per million. When you get above 2.5 pounds per 100 gallons, your plants will die and your fish will die unless they're saltwater fish.
What is the ratio for baking powder?
Baking powder, you can put as much as you want to in there. It's not going to make any difference.
What does that do?
The baking powder, it's going to change the pH level. It's going to change the
Yeah, yeah.
acidity.
The acidity, right. Because my tank is acidic and I need to get it.
If you live around a bunch of pine trees, then you need to add baking soda to your water. And you can't hurt it. I use about 1 pound per 100 gallons. 1% is plenty. But you can put as much as you want in there. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to make it too
Alkali?
sorry?
Alkali?
Yeah, thank you. It's not going to make it too alkaline. I mean, you go overboard, but 1 part per million or 1% and you're good. That's pretty good.
Does hard water make any difference to the fish? Hard or soft? I mean, you know.
The hard water, I only know what I've been told. I haven't seen any differences or seen anything that's caused any issues. But they tell me that they can get scale problems associated with hard water. Now, I don't know exactly what the problems are, and I can look it up, next week I can say, hey, I found out what that is.
Talking about ick?
Huh? Icks?
Yeah, but it would lead to ick problems.
Yes.
And we treat it with salt, right?
With what?
So, there we go.
Yeah, when there's some mineral
Not
inspection.
itch.
So, yes, ma'am.
You were talking about the chicken manure wouldn't be
Uh-huh.
too hot because it wicks it up from the bottom.
Right.
Where would you add the chicken manure? In the water itself?
Yes.
Brought in?
I
Okay.
would not put it in the soil, I'd put it in the water.
In the water. And you can do the same with rabbit or any
Yes,
other? Is
any
there
other manure, cow manure, or anything else you want to add. I wouldn't add it if you don't need it.
Okay.
But if you just absolutely insist that you've got to put that in there, okay, go ahead.
That's probably me.
I mean, there's cows that stand in that pond right there across the street, and I'm sure they're not going, I got to get out, I got to go to the bathroom. They're not doing that. I know it. They're going right there.
Well, what would the fish think if you poured a bunch of chicken poop in their water?
Well,
There's runoff
let's
in
hear
ponds,
this.
so-
Just curious.
I have no earthly idea what fish would
Wondered
do.
if they would like it or hate it.
Well, they could. I have no earthly idea. I don't know if fish can actually. I don't know if their brains are large enough for them to think. But they do have to.
I know.
I'll tell you something interesting about fish that I think you don't know. Do you know that fish are right-handed and left-handed? And if you measure a fish that you catch, the tip of his mouth to his tail, and you flip him over and measure him on the other side, he's going to be longer or shorter. Because he's right-handed or left-handed. The muscle is going to be stronger on the right-handed one, on the right side, and stronger on the left-handed one on the left-hand side. And if you put a fish in a tank that is less than 6 times the length of the fish, okay, the fish's muscles will develop because the fish will have a tendency to swim in a circle, and only one side will develop, no matter how much feed you give them. So you get one big fillet and one little old paper thin thing look like a potato chip. So do not put, if you've got a 40-inch by 48-inch tank over there, then you can raise an 8-inch fish. Okay, you put a 10-inch fish in there, it's going to get 8 inches long and be fat on one side.
Oh, we got 25 fish here, but we really.
You see people put fish in aquariums all the time. They'll put 100 fish in them, you know, and all of them get stung.
What do you feed the
I had a friend that I bought a bunch of koi babies, and she went, oh, I love this one, I love this one. Of course, they change as they grow older, but this particular fish had the red dot on the back of its head, and this is the, oh my God, this is the fish, you know, this is going to be the Cinco, or something.
I know there's so many names for small variations.
Yeah. And so anyway, she put this fish in her aquarium, and a year later, this fish was all 3 inches long. Now it was only that long, 1 inch, but it grew to 3 inches. And that's it, in a 10-gallon aquarium. Wouldn't grow any bigger. She'd feed it, it'd eat everything. You could put it down in there, voracious eaters, but wouldn't grow because the container was too small. Sir.
We've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You don't feed the fish, right?
Yes, sir. Fish eat. Now here's the next thing. Fish. When you look at protein in the feed, a 36% protein food. Okay. A fish will eat approximately 1.6 pounds to weigh 1 pound. Okay? When you drop that percentage down to 32%, that same fish eats 2 pounds to feed to gain 1 pound.
To gain a pound?
Yeah.
From the day they're born, they'll eat 2 pounds of feed to weigh 1 pound. 32%. 36%, they'll do 1.6 pounds of feed. Now, if this is a 50-pound bag, and it costs $20, and this is a 50-pound bag, and it costs $19, what happens? Your better bargain is here, because you're feeding less feed.
But where are you getting that 50 pounds for $20? We need your source.
There is
Hypothetical.
There's actually a feed mill down in Louisiana that I'm going to here in the next month. I've got to need some more fish first because I have to buy it by the ton. But my understanding is that it's going to be right at $400 a ton. So when you break that down, that's what, 50 bags or 40 bags? 40, 50-pound bags or 40 bags?
Now let me ask you a
$20
question.
a bag.
Because you know we're paying $13 for a little bag like this at
no,
Lowe's.
no. This is $15.
Expensive.
It's all you to Louisiana.
Would you turn that around, please, so she can see the pictures?
Put this on the plate, I'll read that to you.
Yeah.
Is that the one that you hammer?
That's the one I beat up. Yes, ma'am.
But part of it,
The fish are real little.
but that doesn't sink.
No, it floats.
Oh, it all floats.
Yeah, when the fish are babies, I'll take it, put it in my blender because I don't make nothing else but margaritas in there. And,
Little
Where
fish
are
protein.
margaritas?
and I like
That's my
fish
question.
anyway, you know.
Extra protein in the
But
margarita.
I grind it up in my grinder, and then a fish will eat. Okay. See, let's do it this way. Yeah, a fish will eat approximately 1.5 ounces per feed per 3 days. Okay? 1.5 ounces every 3 days. That's how much an actual one fish would eat. So if you had 100 fish, okay, then you'd have to feed 150 ounces every 3 days, or 50 ounces a day, because a fish is going to eat about every 3 days. But this fish over here might eat on Monday, and this one over here won't eat till Thursday. Or both of them will eat Monday, and This over here, you eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And that fish grows faster than the other fish. So you have some fish that grow faster than others, some don't. There's more fish that are more aggressive. There are fish that are more passive. And I don't think that right-handed or left-handed makes a difference on how much they eat. But that's the approximate ratio of what fish eat. Now we're talking about a 1 pound fish. Okay. About 1.5 ounces every 3 days.
That's a 1 pound fish.
Yeah. I mean, you don't feed that to a minnow. You know, a minnow just so you base it on pounds. If you have 5 pounds of minnows, okay, then 5 times 1.5, 7.5 ounces every 3 days, or 2.5 ounces a day. And if you want to feed them 4 times a day, that's fine. You just break it up to a 1/2 ounce 4 times a day. Okay? Make sure the particle's small enough it'll fit in their mouth.
Yeah, I bought a bag of that. I'm not sure I got the right one. The one I got pictures of other fish on it too.
Uh-huh.
Is it the same stuff?
No, it's $18 or $19.
Is it the same feed?
No, it's 36%. This is 32.
Okay.
But the price difference in this 32 is 13 versus 19 for the 36.
Yeah, I paid $19.
Yeah, I'll buy
But
the
it-
32.
They'll eat it.
Yeah, they'll eat
Okay,
both of
well,
them.
the reason
I just
asked,
have to feed more of this one than I do of the other one.
okay, I noticed I put a little bit in the. I thought that stuff would all be the same size. It's not.
No.
It's got all different kind of sizes in it, and I dumped a little bit of a mixture in the thing, and I
You
saw
smashed some of it too.
one of the other fish come up and tried to eat it, but spit it right back out because it was too large.
That may be.
Yeah.
Or maybe just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I used to try to fish professionally bass, and I promise you, they spit out a lot of my baits. I'm not eating that.
Is that 1.5 ounces? Is that of the 32% feed or the 36?
That right there is based on the 36. It's not based on 32, it's based on 36.
I want to make sure.
I'm sorry about that, yeah. I should have mentioned that. It's based on a higher protein. We want to, the higher the protein you feed your fish, every cell in your body, every cell in that fish's body or animal's body anywhere is lined with proteins. Proteins are the trucking system of the body. They move things in and out of cells. Sodium, potassium, selenium, all the vitamins. The vitamin A, vitamin B, C, D, E, and vitamin K for blood clotting. And of course the essential elements that you must have in your body, you know, I got that wrote down. Okay. Iron, calcium, potassium, zinc, and iodine. And what does each one do? Iron builds blood. You heard of iron pour blood? You heard of Geritol? Well, I've heard of Geritol. Okay. Some of you guys aren't old enough to heard of Geritol. Calcium, bones, potassium, muscles, especially the heart muscle. Zinc. Gosh, I always try to tell you what that was. The immune system is what zinc does. And where do you get most of your zinc? Oysters. That's why oysters have that tangy taste. If you eat a piece of zinc or take a lick on a piece of zinc and eat an oyster, they both taste the same. So if you don't like zinc, don't eat oysters.
I don't. Except fried.
Iodine. We use that for the thyroid gland. It helps regulate the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is what makes you sweat, eat, gain weight, lose weight. Very active organ in your body, and it needs iodine. So those are the essential vitamins, elements. And now, if you add those to your water, what have you done? You've just increased the value. And there's lots of people out there. The Gerson theory with cancer and huge amounts of vitamin C, 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams per day per person. I think the rule is keep adding 500 milligrams a day until you get diarrhea, and then back off 2 pills. Well, I'm not going that far. I never did like diarrhea. But anyway, that's how we do it. So, Now that we've talked a little bit about the science, a little bit about vitamins, of course you guys know how many vitamins you need every day and what you're supposed to take, all the names of them and everything else, you know, so you don't need to do that. Let's talk about pump mechanics. Pumps are really simple. For every 1 foot in height, your pump loses a percentage of its pumping power. You'll see on a box where you bought the pump, you'll see head pressures and you'll see things like that. And 4. So that's every foot in height from the bottom of your pump to the top of your system, wherever that is, it's losing head pressure. So a 1,320 gallon per hour pump like on those 2 tanks there is probably only pumping about 900, simply because of the head pressure. Now, let's look at this. And so for every foot in height, that's one of the head pressures, okay? The second one is for every 10 foot of suction hose or every 10 foot of discharge hose. Either way, there's 1 more foot of head pressure. So typically, in this tank right here, I've got 40 feet of pipe there, 2 10-foot pieces of pipe going into that tank, so that's 60 feet, and then another 6 or 7 feet going to and from the pump. So that's about 70 feet. So I'm at 7 feet head pressure already, and then turn around and I've got to go up 3 feet. So I'm at 10-foot head pressure. So that 5,000 gallon an hour pump is pumping 3,500 gallons. Okay?